Hello and welcome. My name is Sheep Thief, and today I'll be coming at you with some Dominions 5 Warriors of the Faith multiplayer online gameplay. It is the height of summer in year 3 of the Ascension Wars, and today we find ourselves playing Hinnom. So, first things first, the war. The fortification in Might Marsh has been breached. We will be storming the castle with our elite Rephaim. We've taken some of the diseased units and put them in a forward attack. There are also some diseased skeletons. I didn't know that was possible. But seems to be. And they will be the first to go in, hopefully find a glorious death before they're consumed by their illnesses. Meanwhile, the mundane part of the army will be moving away from the siege to the Mines of Fortune, which is currently locked down. They will arrive here, so I was thinking about this. They will arrive in the Mines of Fortune in 1-2 turns. The Elite Rephaim will take over this, and then next turn, so 1-2-3 turns, we'll crack this fort. I know there are troops in here, and so I probably, if I crack it with the mundane troops, I will probably play it on the safe side and not send these in to try to take it. This is a really good siege cracking force, not a very good fighting force. These bats have a lot of siege strength, these chariots have a lot of siege strength, these giants have a lot of siege strength, so I think we'll keep that around. Yeah, and once that happens, the war with Irmor will be over. So that's pretty much all there is to say about that for now. We did well. Let's look at our other messages. We did well in our blood hunts. We got 31 blood slaves in New Spring, which is our new high. And we got 7 with just 1 searcher in the new blood hunting province. However, the unrest has gotten pretty high. We do have 3 werewolves here, summoning wolves, and we already have, as of this turn, 31 wolves patrolling. Is this guy diseased? He's not. We might as well have him patrolling. And so we are going to take. So that's a total of 31 plus 7, 38 blood slaves in 1 turn. We have 3 here, each with a sanguine dowsing rod. We have 2 here with a sanguine dowsing rod. Only 1 searched, and it did have a sanguine dowsing rod. Next turn we'll have 3 dowsing rods here. We have a 3rd Kohen with a dowsing rod coming down to Hall Woods, which will be our 3rd blood hunting province. And then we've got 2 Kohens being recruited in these 2 provinces, which will complete, hopefully, the mundane blood searching. I should say the blood searching that we will be doing with our national commanders, which is expensive because these Kohen take up a lot of upkeep. But that will conclude it once they get down here, and hopefully within a few turns we'll have a maxed out wolf stack patrolling this with this unrest down. And by the time these new Kohen arrive here, the werewolves will also be here, setting up a new wolf stack. We have here 127 unrest in Irmor, which is unfortunate because I think, yeah, it's reducing our tax income substantially, and making it so we can't recruit in this big high resource province, which will be good for getting mundane troops out. We could probably stop recruiting. This could probably be our mundane troop powerhouse with the amount of resources we have there. So we could stop this sort of inefficient recruiting of archers here. We'll probably keep it on standby because, again, one of the plans here is to not have many mundane troops, but whatever. So, um, blood hunting. My point here was that we've got a stack of imps, not a stack, 16 imps, which have that's 32 patrol strength, so pretty good. And then this stack of skeletons. The skeletons are gonna patrol down this unrest. I was a little worried about my unrest here getting too high, and so we're gonna bring the imps over here and help patrol with those here. And basically they're on standby. I don't think we need another werewolf. I think 3 will do. But I think because of there's just general unrest around here. Look, we got 67 there, 29 there, 19, 18. It's going down. 91 here, but that's being besieged. 21, 21. We've got decent unrest all over the place, and so I'm going to resume Mazakim imp production with just one of these Akas. We'll be doing that here because I don't know, they're good for getting unrest down, and I'm sure they're good. I think they have pretty decent siege strength, if I'm not mistaken. Or no, maybe I'm thinking about the bats. Come on. Siege strength 1.6. Not bad at all. Pretty good actually. So I don't think they're a waste of 3 gems, and considering the fact that we're pulling 13 in per month, that's still a net gain of 10. I do want to get our store of nature gems up a little bit because, for reasons that I'll speak about later, we're going to need nature gems. But I think at least getting a few more imps out will be good. We're moving this other Akka down here because I noticed we've got some wounded and crippled troops in our Rephaim units here, and I want them to be. We haven't lost a single one during the whole war with Ermor, but I want them to be in good shape and ready to go when our next war begins. And we don't have that many of them because our strategy hasn't really revolved around pushing a ton of these out, and they're expensive and but this line of them is strong, and so I think it's worth getting rid of their afflictions. What else was I going to talk about? Yeah, so with these extra blood slaves, we had right about 90 this turn, and I used a substantial amount of them, and I'll tell you on what. First of all, we're making the Armor of Thorns with this guy. I'll show you it. The Armor of Thorns, which gives us +1 nature magic and +1 magic. Once we have it, we have to decide whether or not we want to put it on the commander. If we chicken out of that, we could put it on this Melkart who has 4 blood from eating that ball, my earth bowl long ago. And that would get him up to 5, which unlocks our other blood booster items. The Armor of Souls, which would not work on him because he'd have the Armor of Thorns on, but also the Brazen Vessel and the Bloodthorn. Actually, the Bloodthorn, it's just the Brazen Vessel is the one. But both the Armor of Souls and the Brazen Vessel are 5. So yeah. That would unlock it. We'll come to that when we need to, which will probably be next turn, but we'll address the situation when we come to it. We have to figure out what to do with him, but anyway, yeah, so that's what our Pretender's doing. With that, as we spoke about last turn, and I don't want to get too far into it, we can, as of now, start doing Ritual of the 5 Gates, which I think is a fairly efficient way of getting blood summons out, considering that we'll use all of them except maybe one, and the one that we don't really have a plan for is still totally fine. Like, I'll take it. and 40 slaves. It basically averages out to about 7.5 for each demon, which is a discount for some and a slight increase for others, but an overall discount for sure. Um, One big thing that we're going to get out is Demon Knights, which where I'm gonna have this guy make one. You know, this is our Earth Ball, and it seemed like kind of a waste to just have him researching. I think it'd be better for him to be put to use, and since we have all these blood slaves now, I'm just gonna have him bind a Demon Knight. We want as many of those as we can get to get a solid mass of them. Um, and then we've got another guy just doing Summon Serim. Um, yeah, so those are the sacred scapegoats, which we want to get a swarm of. We want a solid pack of Demon Knights and a swarm of Serim. Um, Hopefully we can have like hundreds of Serim, but that will require more blood slaves. Um, yeah, I think that pretty much covers our plans for the blood economy. There's a question later when we talk about research that affects it. Next, one thing this whole time that I've been kind of lamenting is getting all these astral melkarts and astral balls, and so I did a little bit of research into what I can do with them, and I apologize to my poor astral melkarts for severely underestimating them. I was under the impression that the astral melkarts were sort of the weakest, um, and in many ways they are, and the better your opponents, the more likely it is that they will be just utterly destroyed with Magic Duel. Magic Duel is a spell that you duel another astral mage, and there's just sort of like a coin toss of who wins the duel, and if you lose it, you die. Your character just dies. So your commander just dies. So if you have a lot of cheap astral mages, you can just spam Magic Duel at an astral melkart, and they will probably die. You can resist it with magic resistance, I think, so there are ways to kit it out. However, of the people I'll be fighting against, there's not a lot of astral magic. Femoria does not have astral access. Niflheim does not have astral access. Helheim is an AI now. Ulm does not have astral access, and Marvuni might have astral access. Let me check that. Where's Marvuni? Okay, Marvuni has astral access, so we will have to be very careful. Yeah, he definitely has astral access. We will need to be very careful about using our astral melkarts against Marvuni. But other than that, we do not need to worry about that. And so, and also, it's important that we just have a plan for these. Now, the other thing that these astral melkarts can do is teleport, which is something that I did not realize was so early, that you could get so early. Um, we can so teleport is thaumaturgy 3. We could get that in like one turn worth of research. Um, Now I've got other research goals, but the point is teleport allows you to teleport to a province before anything in that province has moved yet. So normally the way Dominions works is, let's say this army moved into this here, this Marvernian army moved into this province, which they can't because there's a mountain, but let's just say they did. And my army moved into this province. At the end of the turn, as the turn's being calculated by the computer, it'll say, okay, there are two armies here, they fight. Um, but there are a ton of things that happen before that. For example, spells being cast. So if I cast um, like fires from heaven or whatever that spell is that does damage to this army, it would hit those troops there, and then they'd move. So basically, all the magic stuff happens before the movement of the armies, and thus the battle that happens. And so by teleporting, I'm getting my Melkart on top of this army before it can move. Which means if I'm confident that I can kill it, it will die. and not move here. So that's really useful. It's also makes it so you don't have to think about where an enemy force is going. So let's say okay, that has I'm just noticing a huge thrice-horned boar was seen towering over the army. This is Ulm's pretender right here. And let's say I had a like um equipment on an astral mage here, on an astral Melkart that was designed to kill the god. Um we could essentially teleport on top of that without having to guess where he's going to move, kill the boar, and then he wouldn't even get to do, his boar wouldn't even go to where he wants it to go. Anyone who's played Dominions, this might be obvious and you might already know all this, but for anyone who doesn't, I'm just explaining. And also, I had to I knew about this a little bit, but I mean this is the first time I'm encountering needing to use this in a game, so it's sort of new to me as well. So that's basically the usage of these Astral Melkarts, and right now I have 4 of them. One of them is Blood 4, and I'm going to use him to climb into Blood, so he's sort of off the table. So we have 3 Astral Melkarts, which means if we initiate an attack, it could be sort of like a massive assault where, you know, we've got our sort of elite Rephaim army, we'll have a Blood Summon army, so we'll have 2 big armies, and then we might even make a 3rd army with these archers in it. So there are 3 armies, which means we could move in with 3 armies, 3 provinces gone. And then we've got 2 Earth Melkarts, 1, 2 Earth Melkarts. I don't think I'm missing one. Which have already proven themselves against Irmor. So that's a total of 5 provinces taken, and then 3 Astral Melkarts. Actually, we have a 3rd Earth Melkart here. So that's 6 plus 3 Astral Melkarts moving in, um, for a total of 9, which means 9 provinces on the first turn of the war gone, which would be, if that happened to me, I'd be very demoralized, and the chaos would be bad. Like these. Okay, so anyway, yeah, I have renewed faith in these Astral Melkarts. This makes me feel a lot stronger. I need to get them kitted out. I think so. The main thing that they need is 1 more point in Astral, but that's fairly easy to do with a Crystal Coin or a Starshine Skull Cap, both of which we can make right now. Um, and so this is going to take 3 Pretender turns to do, but I think it's worth it to get these, which is actually a reason to give this Armor of Thorns to this guy right here, just because we do need to get. I would rather my Pretender. I want to constantly be doing Ritual of the 5 Gates. Also, I checked. It takes 75 blood slaves to just empower someone, and they get horror marked. And just knowing my luck, I don't really want to risk that. But there is the alternative of just taking 75 blood slaves and buffing this guy up, so that we don't have to put the Armor of Thorns. But we'll do it for now. And if we get cold feet about permanently taking up our torso slot on our Pretender or that other guy, then maybe we'll just save up 75 blood slaves and do it that way. I don't know. Anyway, my point is we need to get 3 crystal coins out, which take up a miscellaneous slot. And then otherwise it'll be pretty much the same. Vine Shield, Firebrand, or Frostband. It doesn't really matter on the Astral ones. Probably brace. Oh, a Ring of Regen, and maybe Trample Boots or something. I'm not really sure. We might throw other stuff on him. That's the bare minimum. Is some kind of brand sword, Vine Shield, Crystal Coin, bracers, bare minimum. Um, Now, better than that is a we'll come over here. Iron Face. There are a bunch of things. Basically, the moral of the story is at construction 6, there are a bunch of items that will be very useful for this. Iron Face automatically casts Iron Skin on these Astral Mages, and one of the problems with the Astral Mages is their protection is not great. And so if a troop gets through and hits them, it hits and does a lot of damage. And like we're going up against like berserking units and high numbers of attack units and giants with strong high strength. So we do need to think about the protection of these astral mages. That's been my main concern about throwing them in. That's why I haven't really used them against Irmor. Even against like PD, I'm just not. I wasn't that confident in their ability to tank. And one huge problem is that, but we'll talk about that in research. Although this is starting to, we've already sort of touched in. I'll basically just say, in Alteration 4 is Body Ethereal, which we don't have yet. And so, as you can see, we switched around our research a lot. Although we're going to talk about this a little more. But Alteration 4, Conjuration 4, we're getting for Fire Drakes, which synergizes really well with our troops. And then Alteration 4 is Body Ethereal, which will be required for our Astral Melkarts, and is really good. The other thing is that I did some research on Astral Shield, which I've just never really heard about before, or used, and apparently it's really good. So like that was our plan when we were thinking about committing some Astral Mages in the war, but we pulled them out. Was Astral Shield, like paralyzing the troops that try to attack it, and the way it works is it paralyzes anyone who tries to hit them, which will already be low because of Vine Shield, but anything that gets through then has to go through a magic resistance check, which will be 15, 12 plus the Astral Mage level, which will be 3. Um, and they're like, I think the Neefle Giants have higher magic resistance than that, so some things will just hit through it, but those that don't uh, will. It'll be very hard to attack the Melkart. So Astral Shield is apparently good. I just needed to confirm that, and it is now confirmed. Other things about them, yeah, that's pretty much the plan for the Astral Melkarts. I am actually just way happier about them now because the applications of teleport are huge. Like we could hit behind enemy lines. I'm like hovering over Marverni right now just because they're the ones right next to it. But like, I'm honestly a little nervous about Ulm, and we'll go over that. And he's just been sending like mundane steel maidens all over the place. He's starting to put shamans in, and I don't know exactly what he's doing with them, but um, we could if we had 3 Astral Melkarts teleporting around. Another idea that someone gave me is put Shade Mail Habergen, which we can make with our god. Just give him stealth and okay protection, and that way we can kind of act like elves and have like stealthed out Astral Melkarts able to hit a province, and then if we're getting ambushed, leave. I don't know what I think about that. I mean, of course it's good, but it's more about like getting my using my pretender turns accurately. Accurately is the wrong word. Efficiently. But actually, one thing that just came to mind is that we can recruit Mage of Autumn. Oh, and they have so they could make Shade Mail Harbigens. We could get one of these out, and we just have to put a skull staff on him, and he could make a Shade Mail Harbigen. So, um, it actually wouldn't take a pretender turn, which means we'll probably do that. So I have to remember that our mages here in our throne can make shade mail habergeons. Um, yeah, which just makes our astral melkarts even scarier. So this actually makes me feel way stronger. Um, and yeah, that's pretty much the whole thing on them. Astral balls are another thing that I have been like, what do I do with these? And the answer is gateway, which is another sort of teleportation like thing, but I think at some point it will become crucial to actually winning the game because these thrones are spread out and we need 8 of them. And at some point we're going to need, if we continue to do well, we're going to have a big chunk of territory and we're going to need to like claim lots of thrones and have armies all over the place. Uh, and these balls have a lot of leadership. Um, they have a lot of leadership, and they can gateway, which is basically they can take them and their whole army underneath them to a friendly province of mine that has a lab in it. So, like for example, I could put all the undead here and the Rephaim and just a big army and teleport it from this province here to this province here. Um, and then it would be like in position to take this throne, for example. And so I think that's going to be their main use, but I'm still kind of researching into uses for them. Yeah, okay, so that's sort of a diversion, or it's not a diversion, it's just sort of like a discussion of what we're doing here. But as for this turn, we've got sort of a question. We are getting Conjuration 4, we are getting Alteration 4. The question is, do we go Construction 6, which will take... I think this is just a question of turns. So what we had before is, I'm definitely doing this, so we're adding Alteration 4 in there, but that won't take very long. That will take 2 more turns, which is not great, actually. But whatever. Blood 7 is 2,400 research points. Right now we're at 400, and that will continue to go up. We're pumping out owl quills. However, that is exactly 6 turns worth of our current research speed to get through Blood Magic 7, which will put us exactly at year 4, because right now we're at turn 6 in the 3rd year. So we'll be exactly at year 4 by the time we finish Blood 7. And my concern is that before then we're going to have some conflict on our hands, and that we're going to be like, damn it, I wish I had Construction 6. So it's sort of a cautious versus risk, a risk versus reward thing here. Now, at the same time, if we have Blood 7, our blood economy can start to explode, and our mundane troop output can be, our blood summon, actually, our blood summon troop output can explode. Um, right now, we're not even at our full height, and we got 40 blood slaves in 1 turn. We're not even at full blood economy, and we're doing okay. Not good enough, but okay. Uh, yeah, but I feel like it's really a choice between 2 power spikes. There's the power spike of having a blood economy, which means flooding the map with units, and then there's the power spike of having 3, probably more by that point, because we're recruiting a ball this turn. But next turn we'll do Melkarts. The more Melkarts, the better, I'm thinking. The Melkarts are really good. Uh, but yeah, the more having 3 kitted out Astral, Shade Mailed, and Iron Faced Melkarts is like, that's essentially 3 armies. 3 really good armies that will require specific counters to kill, which I don't. Everyone except for Moria so far seems to be in a sort of precarious, and maybe Niflheim seems to be in a sort of precarious situation. And Femoria is currently engaged in a war with Agartha. We'll talk about diplomacy later. So I don't know. There's a choice here. I think what we could do is go for Blood 7, and then if things get dicey, how much is construction 5? 700. So it's 2 turns, and then how much was it? It was 1400, I think, for Blood 5. So 1400 plus 700 is 2100. So it's roughly the same amount of time to get that. I think we could go for Blood 7 and watch how things go. And then if we think we need to switch, like 6 years into a war, if we have to hold the Astral Melkarts back for 6 turns in order to get them Iron Faces, like they're already ready to go against like PD and stuff. That'll be fine. The question is like with the Iron Face and the Shade Mail Haubergen, they will be like very hard to deal with. With how they are right now, they're hard to deal with. Um, the issue being like if we teleport too far and then they get surrounded or something, or yeah, I don't know. Once they have Iron Faces and Shade Mail Haubergens, they are elite. There's not much like adding much more to that. It seems like I don't even know what more you add to that. Like a Vine Shield, a Firebrand or Frostband, um, Ring of Regen, Crystal Coin takes up a slot. Whatever, they have to do that. Shade Mail Haubergen, Iron Face, and you could maybe add some boots, like maybe trample boots or something. I don't know. So yeah, I think what we'll do is we'll go for Blood 7 since they're pretty much okay right now and they're usable right now. The only thing we're missing is some of this like basic equipment, like the brands. We have 2 Vine Shields and 2 Ring of Regens ready to go. We'll get more of those out. Maybe this is a reason to keep these 3 to not cast the imps. I think the imps are okay. I think if we're going up 10 per turn and we have Dwarven Hammers for everyone, so I think we're okay. So we'll continue to go for Blood Magic 7 and get the vampires out and explode our blood economy. We're finishing this war with Ermor. We might as well enjoy it and get our blood economy out of control. Now, this kind of brings us into diplomacy. We got a very strange message from Ulm this turn. Standen Passage is not in your domain. Not sure what that means at all. I have no province called Standen Passage. I mean, let me check one more time on video. Like, am I missing Standen Passage here? Srim Clever. I do not see that. I thought maybe he was talking about this, which actually I forgot to mention. Our Melkart here is going to take this Direwolf territory. Might as well, it's up for grabs. I do not know what he's talking about. I sort of wonder if he's talking about if he meant to send that to another nation. Like maybe there's no other flag that looks like me. So that's a little strange, and Ulm has been acting a little bit like unpredictably this whole game. So, what I'm kind of on, I wouldn't say high alert, but I'm on alert with this guy. He's acted strangely. He like attacked Helheim and did pretty well, but didn't like win. Um, but it was a little alarming to see his armies like flooding all over the place. But it looks like he's sort of gotten people mad at him. It does seem like he's at war with Marvurni. I asked Marvurni if he's at war with Ulm, and I haven't received a message, and I think I would have by now. It's been like 2 or more turns, so I'm I am sort of interested. I like his armies haven't really changed, and they seem to be getting smaller and smaller and not bigger and bigger. So I feel like he might be getting stretched kind of thin. And assuming my relationship with Femoria is the biggest threat in the game right now. But I don't think he's going to win. He does have like cloud trapeze and stuff, so he could. He is a problem, but I don't think I'm quite ready to fight Femoria right now. Uh, and I need more information, and I need to know that like maybe one other person. He's at war with Agartha, and I know people are keeping a close eye on him. But we've been partners, and it's been nice having each other's backs here and not having to worry about this front at all. Very nice. Um, we've been like exchanging items and stuff, so I don't know. He's the biggest threat, but I don't even think I'm ready to fight him yet. So I think soon, hopefully within 12 turns, I will be like a serious threat. Um, I will be a problem for everyone because the blood economy, Melkarts, everything's starting to sort of. We are starting to reach our boom. Um, but anyway, Ulm I think is the second biggest threat that I see. Niflheim could do something weird, but I just haven't seen what he's been doing, and he seems to kind of be like. This doesn't really make much sense to me. I guess he sort of has. I wouldn't even call it a stack. He has a handful of these Nifl giants here, which I wouldn't want to fight, but like I don't know. It depends what the bless is. I am not terrified of Niflheim at all right now. I'm a little. I wouldn't say terrified. I'm deeply concerned about Femoria, and Ulm is just unpredictable. And I actually think he would be the person I'd attack. Cause having, and I'd try to make a deal with Marverni to make him not attack me either. Although I'm not particularly scared of him either. So that's sort of the diplomatic situation, which I guess leaves the only other thing to talk about. Oh yeah, I guess we could watch this battle here. There's a battle. We've got what looks like one of these cloud trapezing Fomorian druids. I don't really know what his plan is. Let's speed it up. Mist form. He goes in, gets paralyzed, and should die really quick. Yeah, okay. He just had a frostbrand, and let's watch that one more time. What was the other thing he had? Chainmail of displacement. Okay. That's not like gonna cut it. Quicken self. And then gets paralyzed. Yeah, I don't know. There could be a lot of those. If Femoria and I got in a war, I wonder if this is how he's been doing so well. Is he like cloud trapezes right behind? So I think when we fight him, unless someone else takes him out for me, when we fight him, we'll need to be careful about like our backline, our like provincial backline. And we'll have to think about some counter thug, probably devils. I might have a number of like devil bands that. What is that spell that summons a devil with a bunch of imps? It's no. It's got to be Bind Devil, Hellfire, Horde from Hell. Here it is. 44 blood slaves though. I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think that's the way to do it. We'll probably just have we'll have to think about that. But that does seem to be. I've seen him do this twice now. The other thing he did is he summoned air elementals with those druids, which is a little scarier than what he was trying to do with that frost brand. I don't know what that was. We do have this guy left. I can't remember if I think we're just gonna research with him. All the research we can get, we want. So, um, yeah. Yeah. So I guess the final thing we'll do is just send a message to Ulm. But I guess what we were talking about is Femoria being at war with Agartha, and he's sieging there. I'm bringing this scout here to watch this battle for Agartha. This is his capital. So we will have to see how that goes. Maybe this means Agartha isn't long for this world. It also means Femoria might be I think one way that I lose this game is don't I think I'm already binging on not taking Femoria seriously enough. Thing is, like, there's nothing I can really do about it with these neighbors. I should, like, honestly, one of the best things I could do about it is just invade all these people, which would just set me up for being able to fight him properly. The only other thing I can do is try to convince people to attack him, but I don't want to do that because I'm friends with him. So, we'll see. I think, there's some... He has too many thrones. We do... Okay, I think we need to... One thing I've learned this turn, just from doing this video, is we need to start devising war plans against Femoria, which I've already been doing in my head, like I said, analyzing what he's doing with his cloud trapeze stuff and all that, but we need to start getting a solid plan. I wish I was like 3 turns ahead of where I am right now in terms of blood economy and research. So I think the key is get those vampires out, get the blood economy going properly. Not beyond properly, get the blood economy like bursting at the seams. Take over these squabbling humans and elves, and then there will be an insane late game fight. I don't even know what nations haven't we really encountered. Oops, no. We've seen Ulm. We've taken out Ermor, so they're kind of. Oh, wait, he went AI. I didn't know that. So Ermor is officially defeated. Yeah. So we've seen Ulm. We've seen Marverni. We've sort of seen Agartha. They seem to. Oh, he went AI. Oh, that's not good. Well, I guess what we haven't seen is Mikone. They're hopefully they're doing okay. So wow, I was not aware of this. Ermor's AI and Agartha is AI. We knew Tirnanug was defeated. And Helheim has gone AI, which we did know as well. It's unfortunate that both Helheim and Agartha have gone AI. I guess we need to get some information on Mikone. I haven't really heard. All I know is that he was at war with Agartha when Femoria attacked Agartha. So he's probably sort of happy, but also like, uh-oh. What I'm worried about is that I'm next for Femoria. We'll see. I think we've got a few more turns before that would happen. It would be unwise of him to do that, because there are other people that could... If he attacks me, I think I could get everyone else to attack him as well. The question is, could he take me out? He's pretty big. And I can't see any of these stupid elf troops. Not good, not good, not good. Okay, well, this is new information, but whatever. We'll just send a message to. We'll send a message to Femoria saying, "How's it going against Agartha?" Look at what we're down to here. There are only 6 of us left. Okay, this is what I'm saying. It's getting into crunch time here. You know, let's get construction 6. What comes at construction 5? Clockwork Horrors, Crusher Construction. Okay, nothing that good. Let's do. If in 6 turns we have crazy, what else did we want at Blood 7? We want vampires. There is a bunch of stuff we could use. Archdevils, that would be really good. We could get Father Ill-Earth out. Just a lot more super combatants. I really do feel like it's coming down to also Leech, which will be good against elves. And Blood Rain. Blood Rain also very good. We'll leave it, and maybe next turn switch it up. Blood 7, Construction 6. Let's send a message to, whoops, Ulm. What did he say? What was the name of it again? Standen Passage. Okay, we're gonna say greetings. Ulm. Greetings. I am not sure what province you are talking about. Standen Passage is nowhere in my territory. Can you tell me the number of the province in parentheses? Parentheses next to the name, so I can see what you mean. How goes the war with Marverni? Keep me informed. The Giants of Hinnom. Then we'll send a message to Femoria saying, greetings, brother giant. How fares the war against Agartha? I see he went AI. So I assume good news. Um, Marverni and Ulm are indeed at war. I'm wondering what your information on Mikone and Niflheim is. Ermor is one province away from total elimination, although he went AI in one of the last few turns. I'm wondering, I am pondering my next war target. To be honest, Ulm, or I'll say Ulm, Niflheim, and Marverni, or no, I'll just say and it seems that the world is ripe with potential conquests. Keep me informed. It seems our friendship has brought about our dominance in the game. It is good to see us both standing strong. Hinnom, the great giants of Hinnom. Alright, okay. I think this is pretty much it. Um, it's been a very long episode. A lot of talking. Almost an hour. But I hope I've left the viewer with a strong sense of what's going on in the game, and I've also just sort of worked out a few problems here. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Thank you for watching.